AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that.
Is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Person Crockett is part of the new trend where informality is okay, where formality used to reign. Yeah. Okay, fine. That's been going.
Podcaster talks or some shit. Fuck it, man. Can you imagine, I don't know, Obama saying, man, dude, this shit is whacked and fuck it. Just slap me. I'm fucking over it. I mean.
Let's jump straight into the chaos that unfolded on live TV. A fiery clash so intense it left viewers stunned and glued to their screens as the tension kept rising. This wasn't just a minor disagreement. It quickly turned into a full-blown confrontation that spread across social media and had everyone talking non-stop. Bill Maher went right at political figures. Jasmine Crockett and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, looking past their polished public image and warning that the Democratic Party may be leaning too much into attention-grabbing moments instead of focusing on real, long-term policy work. He argued the party is drifting toward flashy headlines instead of meaningful leadership, and he made sure his message landed clearly as he challenged their approach head-on with bold energy and zero hesitation on live national television.
Trans people filming us in the bathroom. How many of these trannies are taking selfies? These men are taking selfies in women's spaces, in the bathroom. It's gross. It's disgusting. So if we're going to talk about civil rights, let's talk about the rights of women in this country and how you are stripping them away every single day. And you're doing it in your legislation, you're doing it in your messaging, you're doing it on X. You're making women feel unsafe in this country. And you're making the opportunity for women and girls to be raped, to be sexually abused in this country, even greater than they've ever been. So don't come over here with your attitude and talk to me about rights when you're trying to take my rights as a woman, a rape survivor, away. Thank you, Mr.
Now here comes the twist that instantly grabbed everyone's attention, because Maher didn't show up empty-handed. He came prepared with what he said were solid facts to back every argument he was about to make. He accused these influential political voices of choosing non-stop attention over real legislative progress, raising the stakes of the debate in a single moment that sent a shock through the room. He pointed to what he saw as a shift from meaningful policymaking to performing for the spotlight, insisting it's a problem that needs urgent attention before the message behind the work disappears completely. And as Crockett and AOC fired back with sharp responses of their own, the tension crackled through the screen like an electric current, with every word carrying enough energy to spark an even bigger confrontation as the debate kept heating up.
How we got there, because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those emails actually have. Chairman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member? I mean, she wants to take it outside with.
Hey, I have the First Amendment right too.
And so I'd like those words to be taken down. I am moving to have those words taken down. I believe it's against the rules.
Going outside doesn't incite violence.
Another
you have a conversation that isn't.
The committee will suspend. The member will state the words he wishes taken down.
The whole moment quickly turned into a wild back and forth that showed a clear gap between those in political power and the everyday struggles regular people deal with all the time. The intensity made it obvious this wasn't just a mild disagreement. It was a clash of strong viewpoints filled with pressure, emotion, and competing priorities that demanded attention. And before getting deeper into the chaos, there was a quick note for anyone who enjoys honest, unfiltered content to hit that subscribe button. A simple reminder to stay connected so none of these explosive moments slip by. Once that was out of the way, the focus snapped right back to the center of the clash between Bill Maher, Jasmine Crockett, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Because this wasn't just a random flare-up, it felt like a long-building tension finally boiling over on live television with full force.
AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that. Because because people will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket. Because they're authentic. No, because they're authentic.
I don't do that.
Okay.
That done.
I think you're wrong about that.
What people like about people like Trump and Fetterman is because it's irrelevant to her life.
But you don't know her life.
I know that being a gorgeous woman who I wouldn't even know was Hispanic in a city that has 1 million Hispanics and does not treat them badly.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't struggle. That doesn't mean that she was set down.
It implies it.
But that doesn't mean that she was set down in Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies it implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball because of that, and it's just not true. And so
I don't know if she's behind the 8 ball, but I don't think she's as privileged as many people who are in Congress right now.
She's not privileged or not. She was a bartender.
Yeah.
So I was a delivery boy.
But I'm saying sometimes
Maher, known for his sharp commentary and direct style, decided it was time to call out the Democratic Party, stepping into the conversation like someone finally putting their foot down after watching things drift off course for too long. His message was clear. He believes some political figures are more focused on creating viral moments than pushing for meaningful change, and that idea set the tone for everything that followed in the heated debate. On one side stood Maher, calling for real substance over flashy presentation, and on the other stood Crockett and AOC, who he saw as more invested in spotlight-driven strategies than in deep, policy-focused work that brings lasting impact. And Maher didn't hold back for even a second, going all in as he criticized what he viewed as a growing culture of valuing theatrics over real action, leaving both Crockett and AOC ready to defend themselves as the confrontation kept building with intense momentum.
I thought was apropos of what's going on the left. And by the way, if you watch the speech, I saw mostly the clips of it, and mostly it was people in the audience, the guy with the cane, people with like paddles. Oh, there's the cane dude. And then there's, okay, we're here's our pussy hat uniform. And these looks like you're at a auction signs. I mean, it was, John Fetterman called it a sad cavalcade of self-owns and unhinged petulance. I love him. I thought he should have won last week. The Democrats seem so lost. And here's Jasmine Crockett, who is, I thought, a big leader in the Democratic Party. Her quote is, "This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up because I'm ready to get on with it." On with what would be my first question. And also, this is the way this is like how a podcaster talks or some shit. Fuck it, man. Can you imagine, I don't know, Obama saying, man, dude, this shit is whacked. Fuck it. Just slap me. I'm fucking over it.
AOC stepped forward first, carrying high expectations since her reputation has long been tied to bold activism and challenging the usual way politics is done. People were watching closely to see how she would respond, and the moment felt heavy with pressure as she prepared to defend her approach in front of millions. But Maher's critique pushed her into a position where she had to clearly explain her strategy, leading her to deliver a strong and passionate defense of her methods, highlighting how her style connects with younger voters who want a more modern, energetic form of engagement. Her voice carried focus and urgency as she made it clear she fully stands by her approach and won't let it be dismissed without recognizing the real impact it has on the people she aims to reach.
Right now is that if we continue down this road, then we will not have a rule of law, because we have people that are currently serving and they're saying things like, ignore the judge's order. What it means to have law and order in this country is that you follow the order and you go through the appeals process, even if you dislike what the judge did. Thank you. And I'm
going to note that when Miss Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC as we know her, filed articles of impeachment on Justice Thomas and Alito, Ms. Crockett was one of the co-sponsors along with Mr. Cohen, both members of this committee. It does seem interesting that when the shoe is on the other foot, everyone is self-righteous.
Wow.
And I think this is a good example. For the last 3 hours, I have had to listen to one side talking about impeachment as though it was the nature of this hearing.
She made it clear that her approach isn't about empty performances. It's a modern way of reaching a wider and more diverse audience that responds to clarity, energy, and the platforms people use every day. But Maher wasn't willing to ease up, pushing his argument further as he questioned whether this fast, soundbite-driven style might actually slow real progress by replacing deeper policy conversations with quick moments meant to trend. That's where the tension rose even higher, because as his sharp questions filled the studio, AOC stood her ground firmly, pointing to her long record of advocacy and pushing back on his view as outdated and out of touch. Then suddenly, bam! Jasmine Crockett jumped into the conversation with full force, refusing to stay silent and adding her own fiery voice to the debate as everything intensified even more.
Is part of the new trend where informality is okay, where formality used to reign. Okay, fine. That's been going on since the 60s. So her routine is that she wants to bring a little bit of what I might quaintly call the ghetto catfight into these spaces. I get it, bring a blaxploitation movie or something into Congress. Great, work it. But you do not make fun of the fact that somebody lives their life in a wheelchair. That doesn't work. If she thinks that being black and fabulous gives her a pass on that, then she's got a really unfortunate sense of what black is.
Well, what do you think, Ricky?
Jasmine Crockett pushed back, saying Maher's criticism missed the bigger point, and that her approach isn't about chasing attention, but adapting to how people consume information today. She argued that platforms like TikTok and Instagram actually strengthen messaging by reaching people where they already are. Maher disagreed, insisting that without real substance, viral moments are just short-lived attention with little lasting impact. As the debate continued, it turned into a clash over authenticity, representation, and modern political communication. At one point, Maher questioned whether their popular style could overshadow real policy achievements, arguing that viral fame fades quickly while real legislative work has lasting value.
Example of when they go low, we go lower. And the Democratic Party is going to lose if they try to use kind of MAGA world tactics back at them. I think that if the Democrats want to succeed in the future, they need to be the party that is normal, that are stand-up people, that do not take the cheap shots back.
But, I don't know. I'm not that upset about it. I'm really not. You know why? Because I'm a big fan of Family Guy. And they have... Am I wrong? Every week. I mean, one of the characters, Joe the cop, is in a wheelchair. And every week there's 20 jokes about him being in a wheelchair. And nobody died. And I just think everybody has to, lighten up a little. Yeah, it's terrible to be in a wheelchair. But, it's not like it's news to him. And I don't know. I'm a free speaker.
I adore Family Guy. I've seen every episode. But that wasn't a cartoon. This is real life, and she was saying it with dismissive hostility, as opposed to the cartoonish, we can get away with it because we're drawn. Jasmine Crockett is not drawn, and neither is Abbott. I see a distinction, although I see what you mean.
Okay. Yeah. Commentators and politicians from all sides quickly jumped in, with some strongly agreeing with Maher's warnings while others stood firmly behind Crockett and AOC, arguing that their modern style is simply the future of political communication. Congressman Eric Swalwell also stepped up to defend both leaders, saying their newer ways of speaking to the public are necessary for reaching wider, more diverse audiences in a world where traditional messaging doesn't work the same anymore. He argued that political communication has to evolve if leaders want to stay connected with the people they serve, especially younger generations who expect faster, clearer engagement. What unfolded was a clear snapshot of a party at a crossroads, caught between high-energy modern outreach and the reminder that real policy work still needs to stay at the center. This debate doesn't seem to be fading anytime soon. In fact, the pressure feels even stronger now, raising the question of whether Democrats can balance style with substance or risk letting modern engagement overshadow their core mission.